Welcome to Startup Central. I'm Avandabash. This is the show that's focused on disruption, the new economy, technology, and everything related to startups. Well, we've got a jam-packed show for you, but let's kickstart then by talking about Greendigo. It's essentially an organic clothing company for young babies as well as children, and they've recently partnered with Dia Mirza as a brand ambassador as well as a strategic investor in the company. So let's bring then these female founders and investors on board to discuss the long-term prospects. Joining in is Dia Mirza, who's strategic investor and brand ambassador at Greendigo. And we've also got Meghna Bhatnagar, who's the co-founder of Greendigo, joining in on Startup Central. It's lovely to have you both on board, ladies. Thanks much for joining in. Dia, I'm going to begin with you. This is something that's, been in vein with a lot of the investments that you've done in the past that's been focused on, sustainability, being friendly to the environment. And it's something that's very close to your heart as well, being a new mom now. So after Shumi, after your investment in Beko, why Greendigo?
Thank you for having me, and thank you for making the time to shine the light on sustainability. This is... Greendigo appeals to me for many reasons, but I think the primary reason is that our synergies are perfect. They walk the talk, they are passionate, they're persistent, they truly care for people and the planet. And I absolutely fell in love with Meghna and Barkha when I met them because there was so much resonance in what they were trying to do. I love the fact that they're already a carbon neutral company. I love the fact that they, of course, the given, which is their GOT certified garments, they're absolutely non-toxic, free of all kinds of chemicals and pesticides, the safest kind of clothing for children. But all of that aside, they're just incredible human beings who are on a mission, and I'm very happy to empower them.
That's right. So everything really about the company seems to appeal to you. So Meghna, that brings me to my next question. What does it really mean to have a brand ambassador and a strategic investor like Dia in Greendigo?
Thank you so much, Avan. Like Dia said, the synergies are complete. The alignment is 100%. We are a carbon neutral brand. We are a plastic free brand. We are aligned to the UN SDGs, all of which Dia advocates and has been advocating for a very, very long time. There is nobody better for a brand like ours to amplify our voice than Dia. She is the correct person who's on board as an investor and to give our brand a voice. I think, we really look forward to having her on board, and it's going to mean a lot in amplifying our voice, in future.
Dia, now as you're donning the investor's hat, tell us a little bit more about the criteria. What is it that you look at before investing in these companies? Is it going to be focused on a lot of companies that are focused towards sustainability, towards being environmentally friendly? Is that going to be the vein?
The criteria essentially is sustainability. I am looking to grow a virtuous circle. I'm hoping to be able to invest in conscious capitalism. I want more and more people to recognize the merits of changing lifestyles and becoming more sustainable in every choice that we make. And it has to start from, the very idea of consumerism. So backing companies and products that are going to empower and help individuals make better choices on an everyday basis. And obviously, what will make people meritorious is how many of the SDGs they are achieving and how genuinely sustainable they are, because there's a lot of greenwashing happening. People are using the term frequently, but aren't always walking the talk. So one of the main aspects of our due diligence is to ensure that the companies that we are looking to invest in are genuinely sustainable.
So Meghna, a little bit more about Greendigo in terms of what kind of gross margins the company currently enjoys. What's the revenue run rate that you work with? I know you're a fairly new company, but if you can share with us a few more details.
Like Avan, we are a very new company. We operate on a very healthy gross profit margin of around 81%. I think at this stage it is extremely important for us to be agile, to be cost conscious, to be, I won't say tight fisted, but keep an eye on our costs, to be able to survive in this environment. We are seeing a month on month growth of around 25-30% in our revenues. We have an extremely healthy repeat customer of 41%, for the longest time now. It grew from 22% to 41% in the last 1.5 years. We also see a very low return rate of under 0.5%. And I think that in itself shows us how the customer likes our products, the acceptability, the market value, market product fit, and that's really heartening for us.
So, Dia, how much of an issue really do you think that it is when it comes to fast fashion, which we're very guilty of consuming day after day, and how really do you think the issue can be addressed?
We all, I think, are recognizing more and more every day that fast fashion is not sustainable. It is the practices and just the way and the means in which clothes are consumed and produced is irresponsible. And there are changes being made, especially by fast fashion retailers, that are encouraging. But I think the basics of sustainability is that you want to be able to invest in or choose or make choices that help you live a more I guess you need to generate less waste, and you need to make choices that last longer, and that is true for garments especially. As a culture in India, we've always been extremely caring towards the kind of choices we've made for the planet and for ourselves, because if you look at the heritage of our textile, the history that we have even with dyeing, all of it is natural. It's only in the last 40-50 years that there has been, actually even less, in the last 30-35 years, that we're seeing the advent of chemicals and pesticides and toxins in coming into our patterns of consumption. But before that, Indians have always cherished and respected the virtues of being natural. And Barkha and Meghna always say this, that organic and natural shouldn't be an exception, it should be the norm. And what I really think is going to change things in terms of just the kind of choices individuals can make when it comes to their own individual patterns of consumption is the fact that we have a sizable number of organizations coming up that are providing people with the opportunities to invest in and procure garments and clothing that is genuinely natural and sustainable. There are such exciting things happening in the world of fabric and design with natural and sustainable garments in our country. So there is a price point issue, but I think with time even that will change. People will recognize that the price for choosing something natural and organic may be slightly higher, but the cost of not choosing natural and organic is much higher. So when it comes to genuine health and safety, not just for you as an individual, but also for the planet, it always will count when you make the natural choice. It just goes the distance.
Meghna, the baby wear market in India is estimated to grow to $48.4 billion by 2027. So it's a huge market that has a lot of potential. Where is India when it comes to the stage of growth, and how much potential do you see for the market growing and for the company Greendigo as well?
Like you said, the market is almost $50 billion, or is slated to grow to $50 billion by 2027. The sustainable market in it is really tiny. It's a very, very nascent market in India. Sustainability is also a very loosely used term in India because a lot of brands call themselves sustainable without any certification to back it, or without any proof that they are actually doing something to reduce their impact or their footprint. I see a huge potential in this market because the consumer is becoming conscious. More and more people are realizing that, like, if I don't do anything about it, who will for my kids? So I keep saying that the narrative in our heads has to be that we are not trying to save the planet. The planet existed before us. It will continue existing after us. It is us we are trying to save, our own children that we are trying to save. And once you get that right, you get that narrative in your head right, you start taking all possible steps to reduce your own impact, as a community, as an individual, even as a business. So today when we do business, I'm extremely cautious of the fact that the business has no waste, has no harmful impact. We keep our footprint the lowest. We offset whatever carbon footprint, the essential carbon footprint that we have. We go an extra mile in offsetting it right up to the customer's doorstep. So not just to our warehouse or to our office, but right to the customer's doorstep. And it, I think, primarily arises from the thought that if we don't do anything, we are actually jeopardizing the futures of our own kids. Not of the jungles, not of the wildlife, not of the oceans, but our own kids who are dependent on those resources.
Well, we are certainly at a very nascent stage in India. But Dia, tell us a little bit more about what are some of the other investments that you're looking at, which are the companies that you're currently in talks with. What can we expect next?
This is really, a very consciously and very thoughtfully done thing. It's something that I'm not in a hurry to expand on. I obviously have to come across individuals and enterprises that truly walk the talk and genuinely care about what they're doing. So the circle is growing for sure. It's a virtuous circle, but I'm in no hurry to expand too far and wide yet. But I think and I hope that my investment in these brands conveys a very important message to everyone, that how we use our money counts. And while we make better choices as individuals, what we spend our money on and who we back also makes a big difference. So wherever and whenever I find that there is an organization that resonates deeply with me and the work that they're doing resonates with me, they will find an investor in me.
Right. Now, Meghna, let's get in your perspective in terms of the competitive intensity, because not just new players that seem to be cropping up in this area, but you've also got a lot of the big established players who are taking sustainability and going green very seriously. So are you worried at all?
No, we are not worried about the competitive intensity, and that's primarily because of two reasons. The larger brands have a larger baggage that they are carrying. It is not really easy to tick all the boxes of sustainability to become, carbon neutral, plastic free, got certified overnight. We, on the other hand, have started with all those right from the beginning. We are really carrying no baggage. We are clean from the word go, and I think that's really going to hold us in good stead. The second thing is, if there are new players, I think it's going to only increase the market. It's going to increase the consumers' awareness, and that is just Greendigo is not going to change the world.
Right, so not worried about competitive intensity. And finally, Dia, being an investor, tell us a little bit more about what it means for your roles in the films. Are you going to be hitting the big screen again? What are your game plans as a mother? What is it that exactly you're looking to do? What is going to be the line of focus for you now?
I worked right through my pregnancy. I worked right after I had my baby, and I filmed 2 feature films that will be releasing by the end of this year and the early next year. So I'm looking forward to those, and of course, building these very meaningful collaborations and partnerships. So there's a lot happening, and everything is happening with a single-minded focus that my children should benefit from my choices, and it should help them become better citizens, not just of our country, but the planet.
That is so inspiring, ladies. Thank you so much. Really makes everyone do a bit of a rethink as to how fast fashion is so harmful for the environment and how we in a very little way can contribute. And Greendigo is one such company that seems to be really pushing this initiative. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.